Hello, everyone. I don't know if you hear me. I hope you hear me. Hello, everyone, for this fifth encounter, this fifth seminar of Dialogues on Beauty. Yes, hello, yes, we hear you. Lovely. Hi, Rita. Welcome for this fifth seminar of the Dialogues on Beauty on Your Skin web series. It is just the end for this semester. This is the last one, and we'll take over on September. This time, just again in collaboration with UNIC, the Association of Tanner. Again, as usual, we are developing and exploring the universe of design and the evolution of design concerning after the COVID-19 pandemic, or alongside the COVID pandemic, how the new approach to design is and how it has developed. It will be a very, let's say, touch and feel, or at least trying to be touchy and feely atmosphere. This time we have with us architect and designer and the founder of Total Tool, Giulio Ceppi, who's also a professor at the Polytechnic of Milan, Samuele Seli, who's the vice president of the Association of Leather Tanners Foglio di Toscana, who's a very special reality and a very special network that he will explain to you. And in a few minutes, he's actually in a meeting now. We will have with us a special guest from Venice, who's the general manager of one of the most famous hotels in Italy and I think in the world, one of the most charming, who's the Gritti Palace in Venice. So he will give us a hint after this conference that is still going on now from Alta Gamma, the Association of the Luxury Companies concerning tourism. So he will give us some hints about this research and also about the evolution of the sentiments of the new visitors in Venice, what they want now, and this approach to hospitality. So before we start, I'd like to leave the floor to Fulvia Bacchi, our host, and to Professor Andò for an introduction. Thanks.
Hello, everybody. Once again, I am very happy to host this meeting. It is the last meeting before the summer holidays, and we are ready to restart in September. Today, we are talking of a very important issue, design, and leather and design are an important marriage, and I would like to show you how the architect Vincenzo De Cotis has created here in our showroom with leather. So once again, I invite you to visit our showroom to understand better what leather is and how much is important for design. Now, very good work, and I leave the floor to Romana Andò. Thanks.
Thank you, Fulvia, and thank you, Fabiana. Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the teaching staff of the Master Program in Fashion Studies and the large community of our students, As usual, I would like to thank UNIC and Il Foglio and Fabiana Giacomotti for this last seminar, but as we learned, we will be together again after the summer to continue this extraordinary opportunity of dialogue between the fashion system and the academia, and in this case also the relationship between fashion and design, for example, which is a topic that is really, really important, as we are also discovering in our program and in the collaboration with the master program in product design at Sapienza too. And I would like also to give a special and warm welcome to our guest today. And I think that this will be another great opportunity, in the sense that the topic they will address is fundamental, I think, and especially considering the time we are living in, so that the lockdown, the smart working experience we had and we still have, that this is something that is affecting our life, our use of the spaces, the way we recreate and remodulate the relationship. So design is really fundamental, and so thank you again for this opportunity. I'm really curious to listen to our guests today. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Romana, for this introduction. Before we start, I'd like to again to thank everyone and tell you that I think that materials, handmade and man-made materials, and also natural materials, are of the utmost importance, as you said. In this new evolution and this new atmosphere we're living in, and we would like to live in. We have this great opportunity to have Giulio Ceppi with us, who is actually working on the feeling of design and also not just the shape. So I readily leave the floor to architect Giulio Ceppi, and thanks again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for the invitation. I'm very happy to be, let's say, virtually back to La Sapienza, where I've been teaching 2 years, some years ago, I have to say, some decades ago, Jesus. But it's a pleasure for me to be here and to speak about the relevance of materials, because materials, I mean, we can't imagine anything without materials, no? Because many times people believe that design, fashion is about creativity, is about having ideas. Yes, absolutely. You can have an idea, but your idea is nothing without a material in which you transfer your idea into. So you can have an idea, but then the way you move this idea into reality means the way you translate this idea into some material. And 2 materials are 2 different ideas, are 2 different solutions. So there is no idea without the translation into something concrete that is a material. But from the other side, materials, let's say, today are ideas, because as I want to show you now, we can imagine anything we want on material, because material today have become so, let's say, flexible, so easy to be customized, so easy to respond and to answer to your specific needs, that sometimes they also risk to lose their own identity because they are stretched in one direction on the other, and sometimes to divide clearly material from another material becomes so difficult, no? Because, for example, I didn't show any picture. I just show you things physically, because I believe we are also tired about looking picture. So imagine we are there and I show you this. This is a panel of wood. But what happened to this panel of wood? This panel of wood is not magic, but it blends. So it becomes very similar to something else. And this is always the same panel of wood. Look what you can do with this panel of wood. No? So this is wood. It's not only wood. it's a composite with 2 skins of wood and 1 skin of a special polymer in the middle that allows you this kind of origami effect, no? In which you can blend the wood and transform wood into something else. And this can be a ceiling, this can be a wall, this can be a moving cabinet. You can transfer this to different scale, to different finishing with different geometries. This is called today parametric design. So you can give the geometry you want. Now I'm designing some new kind of a gym, and the ceiling of this gym is made with this solution, and you have something like a geometrical wave, no? This pattern moving, and it's like a strong tactile presence, no? Because it's a ceiling, but becomes very tactile. You don't have to touch it to be tactile. The texture and the geometries become, to our eyes, something you would like to touch, no? And give you a sense of touch, also if you're not touching it, because it's a ceiling, so it will be up to. So this is, I will not mention any company because I'm not making advertising for anybody, but it's a young startup of very young people and very brilliant, and they are making very important project. And I believe it's something that maybe you don't expect from wood, because we always have the idea that wood is something natural. Yes, originally it's natural, but as I said before, today the crossing between what is natural and what is artificial maybe is not meaningful anymore. I don't believe it's a criteria we can trust anymore. I don't care what is natural, what is artificial, because sometimes we know, like in our dishes or plates, they sell you something natural that is not natural. So the value is not natural, is authenticity, is performance, is sensorial qualities, is not natural, artificial, a quality so significant anymore, because it's so difficult sometimes, and it's also very subjective. Now I will take another material that I really love a lot, because to me has been a very interesting project, and the material that till 10 years ago was, I don't want to say not existing, because there are materials that have a long story back, but suddenly they become popular and they finally go to life, no? And this is, for example, the case of silicone, no? Silicon. Silicon is an elastomeric material, so it's something that you can stretch because it's flexible, but that's something incredible, no? This is a cake mold, no? That I designed, and was the Compasso d'Oro for me some years ago, because I invented this finishing in metal, because you can put this into an oven and to make a cake. But also when they showed this to me, I said, look, I don't trust you. I don't believe you can put this in an oven and make a cake, because so why we don't make this with a metal finishing that is a kind of soft metal? It's always silicone, let's say, it's the same material, no? But just the finishing totally changed the perception and the values and the attributes that you give to the material, no? So this is to me something, silicone is natural, no? Because it comes from silice, the same material that are used for chip or for glass. So it's a sort of stupid glass, because it's so resistant as glass, but it's not hard, it's soft. It's totally antibacterial, it's totally unallergical. It was used in chirurgical surgery, no? It was used for prostheses, as we know. So it's natural, can stay into our body, is more than a skin, can become an organ into our body somehow. But it's so incredible also in terms of tactile qualities. And for example, you can have also a very strong temperature barrier, no? This is a cup holder I designed for Starbucks many years ago, in which you just personalize your cup with this silicone band, and you don't burn your finger when you have to hold a paper cup that is nice for the environment, but not good for your finger, no? So we can combine the use of material, we can be very creative with material, we can design material, and we have to design material, because material not a given, no? As the leather that we have back to you, I imagine you change the color proposition every year, you change the texture, you change the finishing, you change so many details that are possible to be changed. And all this is design. So design is not something that comes at the end, no? It's something that stays in the process. Then we can also work on really pure and beautiful natural material. And now I show you something that I'm sure, Fabiana, you will enjoy it, because it's something that is really unexpected, because in order to make this project, I spent 1 year to get the proper certification in order that I should be sure that every shell that we fish from the sea is sustainable, because this client of mine is a producer of mother of pearl, a material that normally is used in jewelry or is used in very sophisticated kind of craftsmanship, but that now it's possible to use also in interior, obviously in a way that has to be elegant, has to be very sophisticated. So I'll show you some samples that, for example, we are working in order to have details made with mother of, I'm sorry, I don't know how much you can get from this, because again, we should touch, we should have this. It's terrible to speak about material without being able to touch them and to show them, no? But we designed this sort of magic box, you know, that you open like a small Wunderkammer, like in a Renaissance, and into this Wunderkammer you have all the samples, because it's impossible to promote and to sell this material if you are not able to see, to touch, because a picture can give us the feeling and the light effects of this material, no? But this is a biomaterial, it's something coming from nature, but again, to me, it was very important to have the control of, let's say, the value chain of this material. And this today, it's a very important concept. I will never use any material if I don't know where it does come from, how did the people manage the working and transformation and production process, because it's easy to imagine also for Nike or for Apple, for the most fashionable brands, that then we discover that a pair of shoes has been produced in a cave in Iran using tins is not so nice for anybody, especially for them, but for everybody. So today, like in any design and fashion product, also material, trackability, to know where things come from, how they've been processed, what is the carbon footprint. Everybody involved in the production chain was happy and well considered. This is very important. No? So for example, for me, working with this company that is based in Bergamo, but obviously the production is based in Philippines. So to me was to check and to control that in Philippines, they don't fish any rare shell, or they go to Maldives to take from the coral reef shells, no, because we love natural materials, but we have to take care of nature. So, and the people that are, again, engaged into this. And this is very, very important. No? And speaking about sustainability, I show you something else that it's much more technologically advanced, but is nice because we start, as we are speaking about fashion, we start from what it looks like a textile, because it looks like a textile, but this is a basalt fiber. This is a fiber made with basalt, and basalt, it's a material that comes from volcanoes. It's a stone, and this material has technical properties that are in between fiberglass and carbon fiber, that are material with a very, very strong resistance to traction, no? And they're used, you know, carbon fiber is used in Formula One, is used in every situation in which you need lightness, strength, very high performance. America's Cup.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Would you use it for fashion? Would you find it suitable?
Yes, the problem is that in order to be dressed, because it's a mineral fiber, you always have some noise with your skin, because it's not hard, but you have to make a special treatment in order to avoid the loss of some small fibers. No?
Small particles. Mhm.
Yeah, because normally what you do is then to use a resin and to make this rigid, no? And for example, we also, I show you this with 3D printed fiber. So this is a monomaterial composite. That it sounds a paradox, because how can be a composite if it is monomaterial? It's monomaterial because it is always basal fiber, but let's say it's a composite because it becomes three-dimensional somehow, and that's the same performance of something that normally is made with different layers. And obviously there is also resin to give more strength to this. And we are using this now in boating, we are using this in airplane construction. We are going to use this also in building, because this is also fire resistant. This is also very interesting. So you can make a fashion cloth and you can go into fire without being a fireman, no? And without using asbestos that is very toxic for us, and we know it's cancerous bringing, no? So
you think it could be a good substitute for asbestos?
Absolutely, yes. It's the same, but without any problem for our health, because this is another paradox, no? We have some materials that are artificial, maybe are totally good for us as human beings, but they are not wealthy for the environment. And then instead we have materials that are fine for the environment, like asbestos, but they are not fine for us. So sustainability again means, okay, environmental sustainability, but also human sustainability, because I don't want to wear or don't want to have in my roof a material that is poisoning me or is making me sick. So this is again another very relevant issue today, because also natural material can be poisoning. It's not because it's natural, it's good. Because I see many people say, oh, it's natural. So, oh, yes, we are all happy, it's natural. So, no, we know that in nature there are a lot of risks. So it's because we feel guilty and we believe that everything that is natural, it's okay. But it's not like that. We are a specimen that is always full of risks. We built many of our own risks, but also we have risks coming from the planet. So we have to be always smart and to be able to understand what is good and what is bad, apart of being natural or artificial, because sometimes, again, I see too easy connection. Oh, it's natural is good, it's artificial is bad. Not necessarily, no? You always have to understand the life cycle. You always to look what is before, during, and after, no? Because what we have in front of us is just a transition. Now we see this, but this before was a shell, and then what will be next? So if we don't make us these kind of questions, we don't understand what does it mean material today, because material is not what you have in front of your eyes, is what have been before and what will be next. So it's looking things in a circular approach, no? And that's fundamental for safety and for sustainability. Because if we just look, oh, yes, it's beauty, oh, wow, it's nice, but we're just looking in front of our nose, no? As we say in Italy, no? Instead, I believe we have to step back and to say, oh, this is beauty, this is fascinating me, this is nice to touch, it's great, but where does it come from and where will it end? If we are not able to look things in this circular way, as a designer, we don't do a good job, for sure. We make sense in beauty, but beautiness is not enough. It has to be sustainable in both sides, as I said, human side and environmental side. No? This is the beauty we have to look in our future. It's not just the wow effect or how exciting it looks, but understand that material are just a frame into a story, and we are responsible not only for the frame but for the whole story. And sometimes the story take
you have to look at things in perspective. So I'd like to thank you. In case you have, I don't know, Giulio, if you can stay with us for a few minutes, unless I will ask, okay, fine. Unless I would ask the students if they have any questions. But you know, your beautiful speech and your so interesting speech, just in the day where here in Milan, we are opening the Compasso d'Oro, the ADI Museum, that you know very well. And I hope that all of you will have the chance to come to Milan to see this beautiful specimen of the evolution of our design and the awards winning pieces of design over the decades. So I'd like to thank you also for this reason to be with us today, which is a very special day for Milan, for this opening of this beautiful museum, just in the premises near, oh dear, the cemetery, one of our biggest cemetery, and the headquarters of D². So between fashion and death, life and the end.
Yeah,
so
I can tell you just sorry, one thing to finish, because I was there this morning. I was one of the 3 curators of the museum. I was responsible for the inclusion design for all. Just to finish, look, this is material I put into the toilet. I don't know how you can get it, but this is a wall covering, so it is a textile, but it is soft. It's 3-dimensional because it's a foam. You see, it's a foam with some softness inside. So if you go to the toilet, the walls are soft somehow, to be more gentle, to be more feminine, to be more welcoming. So back to this, there are bricks, but the skin is more gentle, and I hope also people inside will be gentle, because this is very fragile. So I know it's a kind of suicide to put this material in a toilet, but I'm always confident, and if you do something beautiful, people will respect it. That's a law, I'm sure about it. So
I hope you are right. I didn't have the chance this morning to be there, but I hope to go as soon as possible. Do you know that that your introduction and your idea of circularity is absolutely perfect to introduce to you our second guest, Samuele Seli, who will explain to you what Cuoio di Toscana is, mean the leather for souls, and not also for souls, because they have started this association of leather tanners that is based in Tuscany, as you understood for sure from the brands. They are working on a project, on a design project that Samuele Seli, the Vice President of Cuoio di Toscana, will explain to you. So I give the floor to him and thank you for his presence.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for inviting me here. I actually found Giulio Ceppi's speech very interesting and very inspiring, because what we do is actually like a part of something, because in this occasion I represent the Consorzio Cuoio di Toscana, which is made of 7 tanneries. Together we produce a pretty big share of the leather for outsole produced in Italy. I would say almost all the leather produced in Italy for outsole, around 98%, roughly 80% all over the world. And we produce a part of the shoes, because our leather goes in the sole of the shoes. So this is important, what he just said, because everything is made of many parts, and we make one part of it, but every part is responsible. And also the use you made of this material is very important, because our material has a long history, because man has produced leather for outsole for ages, so it has a long history, but it's still very modern. Depends on how you use it. It is a material which is sustainable, which is something that is very important today, because we use only vegetable tannins to produce the leather, we have the very old tanning process in pits, where the leather, you know, you can imagine to produce leather, it takes us up to 2 months. And but a few years back, we created this association in order to give like a new life and new opportunities to this material, because we believe that this material is actually very modern and can be applied in many other areas. Because yes, our material is already used by all the most famous brands in Italy and pretty much all over the world. If you want, I can show you a couple of videos that can, you know, where you can see that our material is really under the shoes of all the, pretty much all the most famous brands all over the world. And, but later I also want to show you that we can do much more with it. So if it's okay for you, I would like to show you this video. Okay.
Go on, yes, please.
Okay, back to us. Can you hear me?
Yes. This is something that I remember very well because
Yeah.
actually I did it.
Yes,
So,
I'm sure you remember.
we did it together alongside a very long week in Milan, and it was, I can tell you, a lot of work. Convincing people, you know, that the director was accused of being a fetishist because he was actually going on around over all the shows, all the fashion shows, getting this shooting of feet. And there was this woman who said, "You are a fetishist."
Yeah, yeah, I can believe that. So, like I said, our material has already a long history connected with shoes, but we wanted to show the people that we can do much more with it. So in the last few years, we made our different projects trying to apply our outsole leather in areas and on articles where outsole leather was never applied before. And so we created some more object. Actually, recently we created a capsule collection together with Simone Guidarelli, where everything from shoes to hat to bags is actually made of cuoio di Toscana. And so if it's okay, I would like to show you this video too. Okay.
This was a very beautiful movie made with Simone Guidarelli, which I think, Samuele, you have to explain who's he's
Sure.
a very famous stylist, and he collaborated with you with this for this
Sure.
beautiful project.
Yes, yes, sure. We made this collaboration with Simone, which is a very creative person, I can confirm. It's been very interesting because it was like a challenge, because we never did something like that before, trying to use cuoio on articles where everybody thinks that cuoio is not the right material to use. And believe it or not, all the bags, all the shoes, not only the outsole part, but also the upper part, but also the glasses are made of cuoio in this video. So it's been very satisfying, because yes, I understand that these kind of articles are, I mean, they don't have to be made of cuoio, but it's nice to show that we can, because we want people to know more about this material, just like what we did a few years back in La Sapienza with you, Fabiana. And when we came to the university to talk to young students about what we do, because not many people know about it. And I believe it's very interesting also for young generations, because with young minds,
We invite you back.
oh, that would
We
be
invite
very...
you again as soon as possible.
Yeah, sure. I think it's already been like 3 years or something like that. It was very interesting also for us because we never did something like that before. And I don't know, I had the feeling that students were actually very interested. And so last but not least, we have another project that unfortunately I cannot tell you much about it, but I can tell you who is it with, and it's Fabio Novembre. And there is this project which will be presented in Milano Fashion Week in September. So again, we try to use our material on something that nobody think it would be possible to use cuoio.
We are not spoiling.
No.
There are no journalists here, so just students. So you can, let's play. Is it a piece of furniture? You can say yes or no.
Okay. Am I allowed? Somebody told me not to say anything. Okay, it's
no,
something.
But yes, it is a piece of design, I think.
Right. It's something iconic from him, sure.
Okay, right. So I think you have another video to show before. We are just waiting actually for Paolo Lorenzoni to connect.
Okay.
So in case you want to explain or to show another of your collaboration, sure. I think you mentioned the famous singer Ermal Mehta, who an international known singer, sure. Who actually used one of the guitar that you made for him. So a leather guitar. So have you got the video to show?
Sure. I will show you right now.
Amore mio, ti guardo e cerco di immaginare come diventerai, come cambierà il tuo passo, ancora così incerto, come sarà la tua voce, che adesso è così squillante e buffa, il tuo corpo minuto e fragile, o i tuoi occhi, che ora spiano i grandi che fanno i loro lavori. La notte quando dormi mi infilo nel letto con te e ti respiro, tanto che potrei scendere tra le profondità del mare, tra i pesci che stai sognando, per portarti via con me, perché so che tra qualche anno non mi permetterai più di farlo. Non riesco a credere che un giorno la tua voce cambierà, che ti verrà la barba, che sarai più alto di me. Come sarà il tuo viso? Che uomo sarai? Amore mio, non accontentarti mai. Il tuo sguardo è la chiave per leggere il mondo. Farlo tuo. Ricordati di essere sempre te stesso e di essere coraggioso. Anche quando ti sembrerà difficile o impossibile, o ti sentirai diverso o solo. Trova la tua unicità. sei unico e non lo sei perché sei mio figlio, ma perché tutti quanti lo siamo, anche se a volte ce lo dimentichiamo. Coltiva la tua unicità.
Se ci fosse che per me una carezza per ogni mio errore, avrei un cuore bellissimo, sì, senza un graffio e senza nemmeno paura. All'amore che spacca le ossa, non lascia ferite. E ti ripaga per tutte le volte che hai perso la strada. E se ci provi a pensare non è poi così male, e c'è poco in fondo da capire. E io che provo a spiegare cosa muove le cose, ma l'ossigeno non è respirare. Non hai un cuore bellissimo, sì, l'hai consumato di gioia, ma ne balza la...
Ci siamo?
That was very beautiful. I remember the shooting of this movie. It was very I have to explain for many of our students that Ermal Mehta had a very special relationship with his mother that he lost when he was a child. So this is very moving, and I think it was a very special project that is related to Cuoio, but is related also to feeling and affection.
Absolutely.
I know that Paolo Lorenzoni is with us, but I'm afraid he's not very used to the Zoom technique. So we had a chat yesterday, but unless he's not able to switch on his video and his microphone, we won't hear him and we won't see him. So I hope that he has someone to help him, unless I can tell you, as I said to our guest before we started this meeting, this seminar, that Mr. Lorenzoni, the general manager of the Triti Palace, who was a part of the Marriott network of hotels, said to me that after the pandemic and during the pandemic, they have started rethinking not the decoration, but the way tourists and guests are involved and are received in the hotel. And so there is they have absolutely took off all the pillows and all the unnecessary fabrics and took everything back to what's essential, what's beautiful. So I think this is a sort of very do it yourself design. So let's take it to the essence and not to or on too much things to show and too much fabrics and objects and items in the room. So people are looking for the essence of things. I don't know if we will have the chance to have Mr. Lorenzoni with us. He actually received the link, but he was not able to switch it on and to be with us. So I would like, before he's trying to have a connection, I would like to ask you students, if you have any questions, to put the questions, to write the questions so that I can put them to our guests of today. Thanks. In case you have any questions, it's your chance to do it now. And while you write the questions, I would like to ask Giulio Teppi, who what he thinks, but what will happen after the pandemic, our new relationship with our home, the home and the house we spend so much time during this last year and a half.
Yeah. I believe this pandemic, as you said before, for sure is going to bring a lot of changements in our lifestyle, not just because of the pandemic itself, but because I believe we understood that some things are much more relevant than what we believed before. And I know, and this is not my personal opinion, that in the last year, the industry of furniture and interior design had a very good season, a demonstration that people understood that your living space, your interior, is relevant in your life, and the quality of light, material, design, it's really affecting your life, and it's really affecting the way you spend your time. So even the last 4 or 5 years, there has been a big trend to go out of the architecture and terraces, gardens, and we know all this kind of feature has been really booming. Now I believe there is a sort of a counter wave in which cocooning and staying inside and having a very nice interior environment, it's important. And obviously this is about the private space. If we speak about hosting, if we speak about public spaces, for sure there is much more search for safety, for hygiene, for antibacterials properties, everything that will help to stay safer and more comfortable, also from psychological point of view, because comfort is not only color presence or tactile effects. It's also this word that I like a lot, that is the proxemics, no? Is the distance between you and other people, the distance between you and things, and this is going to change. This is going to change, and we need more performance for material, because cleanings and safety will be very important, no? So but from the other side, we don't want to live in a glass box, no? We don't want to have an environment that is cold or aseptical. We always need for warmth, we always need for softness, we always need for something that is cocooning. So it doesn't mean we are going to live into an elevator, no, where everything is easy to clean and reflective, no? So I believe it's a season very interesting for us as a designer, because many things has to be really improved and upcycled in terms of performance and facility management. So the capability of maintaining things will be more and more relevant in the future, and this will affect the properties of material and their performances. So for sure the pandemic is not neutral. We see Mr. Lorenzoni appearing. Maybe.
Pronto? Hello?
Hello, yes, we don't see you, but we can hear you at the end. Good.
Yeah, let me tell
lovely.
you, because I have echo here is a disaster. I mean, in terms of technology, I'm really okay. Do you
Here
hear me?
it is. Hi. Nice to see you. It has been a couple of years since I was not last time in Venice. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Giulio Ceppi, but since you have this chance to be with us, I hope that you can answer a couple of questions on this evolution of tourism, reception, and hospitality according to design and the new needs. You told me yesterday about also the evolution of serving of materials, of new, more sustainable materials, etc. So the floor is to you. Thanks. Mr. Lorenzoni, you can speak. You have to open the microphone.
Okay, good afternoon.
right.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry for this delay on my interview on these topics. Okay, the gritty, when we done the gritty, I mean, the interior design, there was, the rooms was full of carpeting, moquettes, and the work was done 10 years ago. They eliminated all the moquettes and we do wood in the bedrooms and a typical terrazzo veneziano, because today the client, especially in the hotel, and now especially with the COVID, they prefer to have a very easy to clean type of pavement of flooring and wall. And in the bathroom, we have all marble bathroom up to 4 meters and our amazing bathroom. And today with the COVID, our chambermaids spend more time to clean the rooms. I mean, honestly, no one of the client make a question which are our policy in terms of cleaning, but we have, as a company, we have a very strong procedure on cleaning using Ecolab product that is not like before, using only the soap for cleaning, these kind of things. And also all the people working with gloves and masks when they go to the rooms, in clients' rooms, in order to make the cleanliness. And they cannot do it with the client into the rooms. In terms of the design, also as a company, we're looking at the sustainability. We already started 2 years ago to eliminate all the throw at the bar that were in plastic and now are in bamboo. And also for cocktail, we don't use anymore like little knife or little fork or little spoon in plastic. We use only in bamboo. And this is a recyclable material. As well as we are using in the bar amenities, they were plastic, a regular plastic. Now the company, I cannot make the name just for I don't know, I cannot make the name of the company. They're using a type of plastic that is recyclable. And we are changing next month of July all the bath amenities. We don't use any more plastic on the soap bar. And this is with our direction.
Okay, thank you so much. And it was just, for you students, it was just a hint to understand that the evolution, not only on design, the end of design, as Giulio Ceppi was saying before, it's the way we live. So the end of design is not just a beautiful object, but it has to have an impact on our life. So is it correct, Architect Ceppi? What I'm saying, it is not just, as you said before, I don't see you anymore. So Giulio Ceppi, hello. No, I don't see you. I don't see you anymore, but I hope that you will come back. So just another question to Samuele Sedi before we end this session. Did you ever thought of taking back to a very old tradition, the Renaissance tradition, of making the walls and also the floor in leather?
Yes, there is actually already some project in terms of covering ceiling, either walls or pavement in leather. Actually, on sailing boat, very luxury one, it is already been used. It unfortunately is a very small market, like a tiny percentage. But yes, it has been used already for a few years. But like I said, it's a very elite product, because of course it has a cost. It's not only the leather is mostly the work that is needed in order to be suitable for that purpose.
No, non c'è problema. So, no, I'd like to know from Giulio Ceppi if he ever worked with a natural element like leather on his projects.
Yeah. Let's say leather is part of my experiment. For example, I just found in my archive something that when I mentioned this, they said to me, as many artisans, impossible. It's impossible. When they tell me it's impossible, I start to be intrigued because it's a good starting point. When it's impossible, it means no, that something interesting can be done. And this was for an important car producer, but at the end, we get to sew silicone and leather together in a very, very strong way because the silicone producer told me it's impossible to sew silicone with any material because silicone is very sensible to cut. It's very resistant, but if you have a blade and you make an incision, it will open totally. No? Instead, we went to a very good leather company in interior design, let's say one of the best. They do a lot of cars, and they said, "Oh, I'm designing a collection of bags, accessory for car owners. Can you try to sew this?" So it's possible to sew silicone and leather. That is not something easy to be done, but if you are a good artisan, you can do this, no? And then obviously I did. Now, for example, I'm making a project with Norman Foster, you know, the famous architect that is already a super luxury free man because he sold his factory, his studio, and he's designing for the Guggenheim Museum, a very important exhibition. And we are working on the future of cars. That is always a very difficult topic because nobody knows what will be really the future of cars. But I'm working on 2086. That is not a joke because if you don't know in 5 years, imagine 2026. It's really impossible. But what I'm sure, if there will be a car, depending from which kind of engine, which kind of, how many wheels, but the interior will be leather. So we are designing the way in which not the car will be, let's say, used, but the way it will be produced. Because it's interesting to imagine how will be the carrozzeria of the future, how will be the future of car in terms of, I need a car, I have to order a car, but what will be the interaction between you and the carrozziere, the car builder? That will not be a big company, will be a small company, and maybe from Brazil, I phone in Tuscany and say, oh, I want my interior design to be special, no? But you have to know that that person is going to live in Brazil. So this is the future of Made in Italy, is yes, to made in Italy, but to know that you make something bespoke and custom for people like leather floors that want something special for their situation, for their climate, for their lifestyle. So many times thinking into the future is a very good exercise to stress what is going to be, maybe not in 2086 because nobody knows really, but maybe in 2-3 years.
Yeah, I think that Fulvio Bacchi has a question to put to you.
Sorry, I am curious. Could you tell me the name of the leather company? We are very few people here and it is not advertising.
No, the leather company was Poltrona Frau.
Ah, okay. No, I was thinking a tannery. No, sorry.
I imagine you were thinking somebody from fashion maybe, but to me, it's always easier to go to design and interior and architectural company. That's more my field, let's say, no? But for example, instead the people now making these the shell components, they come from fashion because they were used to they were applying this material for making buttons, for making fashion accessories, small pochette for very important French. So from fashion, they're moving into design. No? And today we know that between fashion and design, there is much more contamination and hybridization than in past time. So again, no clear walls between anything.
Yeah. So if there is no more questions, I like to thank all of our guests, to ask Roman and Do to finish this first 5, to put the word end and a farewell to September, to this series of seminars that finished today and will start again in September. In September, we will actually start again with fashion, because it would be the time for the new fashion shows, the women's fashion shows, and Linea Pelle. So Romana and Do, it's to you to say goodbye to our students. And I think they are very less than usual, but I know that it's already time of exams now. It's the end of May, so I understand we are just at the end of the semester. So thank you, Romana and Do.
Fabiana, thank you again for this. I would like also to thank our guests today, our speakers, and they are more than invited and welcome to Sapienza. So whenever they want to come and visit us, we are very happy to host them in other meetings and conferences, and also to have the opportunity to meet in person. And I would like also to add something related to this experience of webinars, because it was and still is, and it will be very interesting and stimulating for our students. And what is the output we are going to ask our students is a series of video essays of the seminar. So starting from the stimuli they collected during the lessons, the webinars, they are preparing these videos. So we will be happy to share with you, with UNIC and Il Foglio, and because it's a way to disseminate the knowledge that you provide us during this meeting. So I think it's a way to create more spreadability of this content in the future. So thank you again, and we'll see in September. I hope.
Yes,
Daniela and Silvia.
but this time it will be physical, and here at the Linea Pelle showroom. So I leave the floor again to Fulvio Bacchi to finish this session and to thank you.
It is my turn to thank you all, and I want to thank in particular Fabiana, because she organized this very interesting webinar and gave us the occasion to spread the knowledge of leather. For us, this is very important, and we want to continue on this way. Thanks again to all of you.
Thanks, and thanks to Giulio Ceppi, Samuele Seli, Romana and Do, and everyone here.
And good luck to the students.
And good luck for the exams and the tests. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks. Goodbye.